Welcome everybody to the Lending Lounge.
Where closings are made simple.
And today we got another question, a very good question, Jose.
That's
this is
correct.
probably one of my favorite questions. I don't think I've ever been asked this before, so that's what makes it that much better.
Let's go.
Can you be denied if you were pre-approved?
The answer? Yes.
Not yes, but hell yes.
Yes, you can be denied. It all depends, right? So, there's so many different things that could have happened, right? You could have been pre-approved or not really a pre-approval. Pre-approvals are when you submit documentation, we review credit, we make sure everything's in line, we structure a loan, right? Sometimes it's a pre-qualification. You just had a phone call. You didn't really get a pre-approval. You got a phone call. You said, yes, I make this amount of money. I work here, da-da-da-da-da. And all that information, yeah, it sounds great on the phone. But if you don't have the documentation to prove all that information that you gave them, that person, that loan officer, whoever did that pre-approval for you, probably pre-qualified you, said gave you a letter for instead of a pre-approval, he gave you a pre-approval to the realtor, but it was a pre-qualification, and then actual documentation went to him, and he had to deny the loan. Or it could have been something happened during the loan process. We were talking about pitfalls in a different show. It could have been a pitfall that you got into and denied you the loan. So it all depends.
So can you be denied even though you have pre-approval? 100%. Like Jose says, there's the two main differences are the pre-qualification letter, pre-approval letter. You guys out there that have never done a mortgage wouldn't know the difference. Realtors and us loan officers, absolutely, we know the difference between them. Pre-approval, someone took the time, reviewed everything just like Jose said. We reviewed your tax returns, W-2s, bank statements, pay stubs. We looked at it all. Pre-qualification, a great conversation with you over the phone. We got to see your credit score. Looks great. Go out there and into the world and go hunting. Now, other things that can pop up, or just to kind of give you an example of why pre-qualification, right? Like somebody called us. This would have, first of all, this is going to be a very hypothetical situation because when was the last time you did a pre-qualification? That's the first question.
I don't do pre-qualification.
Why?
Because of this reason. Because you could be denied.
But when was the last time? Have you ever done a pre-qualification?
I very rarely. I've done them for a realtor who say, hey, this guy's really good. I need a pre-approval letter. If you give me a letter, and if you collect docs later, you can verify all that. So I've done stuff like that, trusting the realtor. And I always, put that disclosure. Hey, this is a qualification. I'll give you the letter. But just know that if the documentation comes in, I will deny this if it's deniable.
100%.
So I've done that conversation, trusting the realtor, and I never had issues with that. Because the client was good, they had great money, they had money saved up, they just need the letter right away. And I was like more than welcoming to give them the letter as long as all that documentation was filled out with me and everything I got done that same night or the next day at least.
So there's definitely examples, and I think another example of when somebody can't get you pre-approved, or they tell you you're pre-approved, you go out and all of a sudden it comes back. People that have, I would say, their regular job, and then they have a job that a business that they're creating, right?
Right.
So you're making, let's say, $50,000-$60,000 at your job, your hour, your W-2 position, but then on your tax returns you write off of your business.
From your business,
you write off that $60,000 that you made.
So on paper, you have a lot lower income, and that doesn't allow you to DTI or what we do.
So there's things that will cause. Seasoned loan officers like us is going to see that, and we're going to call that out quickly.
Absolutely.
So we, if it's a dead deal, it's a dead deal up front. We're not going to send you out there looking for a house, wasting your time, right? Your weekend that you're all excited looking for a house. We're not going to let you fall in love with a house that you can't qualify for. And we're not going to waste the realtor's time either that's going out there showing you these houses.
What about during the loan process? This is one that happens at times. During the loan process, everything is approved. You're ready to rock and roll. And then at the end, you find out that the property taxes are so much higher than what was given to you initially. That's happened. That's happened where taxes increase dramatically to the point where that customer doesn't DTI any longer. Mm-hmm. And we have to go back to the drawing board and figure out and restructure the loan. But there's times where taxes and insurance on a property and HOAs, those things, PITI that we say in this business, in this industry, that could actually deny somebody, even though they were pre-approved.
Absolutely, because every property is different, right? And every loan officer is different. Some loan officers will send you out with a pre-approval that doesn't have insurance and taxes attached to it. I've
Right,
seen it.
I've seen it. Yeah.
I've seen it. Though this is principal and interest. Go out there and look. You're pre-approved the 300,000, and then when they come back to me because they were denied there, right? That client got denied. They were mad that they didn't get through. So here I am trying to pick up the pieces, and you call it out quick. You're like, oh well, you know that property, the taxes are $300 a month, $3,600 a year. Yeah. The insurance, the house is built from 1970, so the insurance is way higher because it's not up to code. All these are things that a seasoned loan officer is going to see and is going to catch, and at that point can tell you, you really should have been pre-approved for 250,000 or 225,000. So yes, can you be denied even though you're pre-approved? Absolutely. What should you be looking for if you are looking to get pre-approved? Make sure you submit everything. Every documentation that has to do with your income, you submit it. Tax returns, pay stubs, W-2s, 1099s, business returns, whatever you have that's producing income, dividends, right? Like if you got dividends coming in from your tax from stocks and investments.
Yeah, that's a big one too. A lot of people don't realize that, if you take a loss on stocks, that can hurt you.
Yep. So you need to provide all that stuff. Also, if you have properties, rental income from rental properties. Let's say, you got a property and you're making $2,000 a month.
But you don't report that.
But you don't report it. We can't use it as income. Or if you do report it, you wrote out you didn't depreciate it out, but you said you had major repairs. We know some of y'all. We know major repairs didn't happen, but it was on the tax returns.
Right.
So we can't magically make that cost disappear.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And especially when we have a 2-year history of it, you're showing that every year there's something wrong with the house.
Right.
So no, we have to see these things, and every loan officer should be seeing these things. And if your loan officer isn't asking you for these things, then maybe you shouldn't be working with them.
Absolutely. Bottom line.
So I hope this was informative. This is another episode of the Lending Lounge.
Keep the questions coming. We want to have these questions because this is very.
Send them to us. We need more. And then maybe one day we can do a live. Hopefully, awesome. This goes. As we keep producing some stuff, you guys like what you see. You guys let us know. Maybe we can do a live and do one of these live where we can answer questions on the spot, because I know, especially right now with the way the market is, there are a lot more loans being denied than approved for the reasons that Jose stated. Sometimes people aren't taking into account HOAs, they're not taking into account insurance, they're not taking into account taxes, and then at the 11th hour, all that explodes. So this is another episode of the Lending Lounge.
Closes are made simple.
We look forward to seeing you in the future.